So this is a case style of the Nile Delta. First I was thinking, what is this about? So I was wanting to do, what is the Nile Delta? What does it look like? What's its features? The history, what are the threats? And then the management of the future. So, where in the world is the Nile Delta? Well, it's in Egypt, about 20 kilometers north of Cairo. And the next picture will be an aerial view. So, from top to bottom, it's about 150 kilometers to the Mediterranean, and then 250 kilometers from each side, from Alexandria to Port Said. And then, what's it look like from the ground? It's pretty flat. That's because it only comes a few meters off the sea level to about Cairo, which is about 23 meters above sea level. So the Nile Delta is a landform that is comprised of the amount of sediment that comes from all the way down from Tanzania and Ethiopia in the massive lakes, comes all the way up the 6,695 kilometre stretch of river, and all the sediment from there gets deposited in the Nile Delta. There used to be 7 distributaries, but now there are only 2 remaining, So anyways, these are the 2 distributaries. This is the Rosetta, and this one is the Damietta. You can see at the top here, at the top there is a sand dune and beach bank protecting most of it. Then you've got the lakes and swamps, and this is all used for the land use, agriculture and industries. Does anyone know what kind of delta this is? No? It is a arcuate, and that is because of the arc shape or bow shape of the delta. The history, what do you think of the history of Nile Delta? Well, most people would instantly go to ancient Egypt, but we don't want that, we want the recent history. So during the 1950s, development of heavy industries began along the Nile Delta. Their source was mainly chemical food, metal production and textiles, as well as they started oil industries between 1983 and 1992 along the Nile Delta and on the coastline there. This led to high levels of pollution entering the watercourse, polluting the lagoons, the fisheries on the northern part of the delta. As well, the Aswan Dam was completed in 1970. Why am I talking about the Aswan Dam? Well, it is 150 kilometres away, but it is on the Nile, and it has stopped all the sediment which creates the delta from, actually getting the delta, because they're controlling the river flow. So the annual floods from the Nile all stop at the dam instead of going all the way down to the delta. So there is now a rate of erosion because of it. Yeah, so between 1972, which is 2 years after the completion of the dam, and 1989, the amount of erosion from the tip of the Rosetta exit has gone back dramatically, and it is continuing to erode. So yeah, so it's a major issue. With population increase along the top of the Nile Delta, because it is quite lovely, and the climate change. So anyways, due to the industry and all that, the and population increase, waterborne pathogens, including bacteria, protozoa, and viruses, are entering the rivers, and then like going into the fisheries and the lagoons and killing most of the life there. I think I've got something out. Sorry. Also, global warming. You got since I think it was 1963 to 1992, the sea level rose at an annual rate of 3.1 millimeters in the Mediterranean, which for the low-lying wetlands of the delta is causing a significant risk. What does the future hold? It is unclear. 2 laws were put in place. I should put the other one in. The first law was to control the pollution in the Nile Delta to stop anything reaching the Mediterranean and the lagoons at the end. But no one actually really cared about that, so they just kept going and going and going. And so in 1994, the Environmental Protection Law was put in place and then amended in 2015 because there was not enough funding and they didn't really care about the environment still at that time. In 2017, the Green Climate Fund proposal was put in place where they put dikes and dikes and something else. And also starting to put sand dunes and spits in to try and stop the rate of erosion. They're also focusing on the development of integrated coastal management plan for the entire coastline. Concerns of population growth and the upriver damming have caused a major effect because everyone wants to start building up more of the delta, and it means that proper irrigation for agriculture and all that have to be revamped due to the high demand. Also, a coastal road is now being constructed along the Nile Delta because they hope that it will stop erosion and bring more development and more economic sustainability to the region. I think that's it. Yeah,
Very good. Do I have any questions? Do you think there's any way that they're feeling like they might just be trying to learn with live with the fact that the delta's going to just change shape, or do they still want it to just?
It was just the fact that the Aswan Dam has stopped any form of settlement, so there is no more settlement going there. So that means it's just going to continue to erode. And actually, there is a new dam being built in Ethiopia, which is also threatening the Egyptian population as well, because they're not going to get enough water to fill their crops and all that, so their economic side is going to decrease as well.
Is one of the issues with the Nile is actually 2/3 of it is in other countries to Egypt.
Yeah. So they've got the Aswan Dam is under a treaty between Sudan and Egypt, and Ethiopia just.
Ethiopia and Sudan don't like each other, isn't that right now? They're going to say, they'll just. We'll build a dam, and the rest of it, let's not worry about what happens at the other end of the river. Okay. Are they doing anything around trying to control? I mean, it's obviously been a hub for. It's since Egyptian times for people to go and live there in that delta because all of that fresh water and sediment is great for growth. Yeah. Is there anything to try and stop control how much of that goes on, or is it just?
Well, mainly dam controls most of the water flow. So it was aimed to stop drought and flooding in the Nile Delta and ruining buildings and industry and all that. So.
But actually, the flooding was what they really need.
Yeah.
They should have learned to live with that rather than trying to stop it.
Yeah, there's two sides in there.
Yeah, and then I'm assuming the dam produces electricity. I mean, there must be a reason for it.
Yeah, that's the dam. Yeah, produces most electricity for all of Egypt. And what can you do?
Yeah. Very good. Thank you. Any other questions? No. Okay.